Let's wrap up this eventful week with the Daily Telegraph's Tim Blair and Mark Nicholson from Stepmates Studios. Good to talk to you both. Now, I'm assuming you were watching the program last night, but you are busy men and there are deadlines to meet. So in case you didn't, I've got to show you what Pauline Hanson had to say about the demise of Adam Bandt. Plus, I just like watching it over and over again.
Just quietly between you and I was getting ready to come onto your program when I heard the news. And I couldn't help it. I did a dance around the house in my bra and knickers, and I had to have a gin and tonic. So I am so excited. That's the best news I've heard.
Now, she was very excited, Mark. She told us that there was no one there to film it, so it's not going to turn up on TikTok or whatever, but you can reenact the moment in a cartoon, no doubt.
I've got the cartoon rig. I'm already thinking about doing it because I think it's beautiful. This is why Pauline's the GOAT, in my opinion. She's just yes. She's adorable. She perfectly encapsulated how I think we all kind of felt. Like much of the country was dancing around in their bras and knickers, me included. Like that's exactly how we all felt. It's so honest, it's so real, and she's just the GOAT.
Yeah, it was brilliant, Tim, and that's the point. We've seen radio has picked it up and others because, she was expressing what so many Australians felt.
Absolutely, but, please think of me in this circumstance. Think of the people who can't participate. I don't drink anymore. I can't dance, and until the transition's done, I'm not even wearing the correct attire. So,
mate,
I just had to sit there and laugh.
If there's one thing we all learned from the last Olympics, and that is we can all dance, mate. There's no excuses for not dancing. And why wouldn't you celebrate the demise of Adam Bandt when he's such a lovely bloke? Listen to what he had to say today about Peter Dutton.
People in Melbourne hate Peter Dutton, and with very good reason. They've seen his brand of toxic racism on display for many years. They've seen his time as immigration minister. They've seen him make comments about Melbourne. And like me, many of them wanted him as far away from power as possible.
What a nasty prick. That's the way he goes on with it. Peter Dutton responded today, went on and said the reference to Bandt's appalling treatment of the Jewish community in Australia, and said he was very proud that the Liberals put the Greens last and made sure that Bandt got booted out of Parliament. But he's a pretty nasty bloke, Tim.
Yeah, very unpleasant. But this is so characteristic of the Greens. They'll talk about decorum and standards and so on. And they think the same standards don't apply to them. And then, having got into power largely through our electoral system, giving them advantages through preferences and so on, I noticed that they're whinging today about losing because of preferences. Well, Jesus, kids, it's a forlorn hope, but grow up.
It's forlorn indeed. And speaking of kids, they're just determined to frighten everybody all the time. Have a look at this sort of stuff on climate.
Coal in Australia, if it's dug up and burnt anywhere around the world, harms our country. The climate crisis, the floods, the fires are fuelled by coal and gas. Yeah, Mark, now that you're a parent, you don't want your daughter growing up with this fear, this constant fear-mongering. And this guy, if this bloke's serious about this, if it's really a climate crisis, why haven't we ever seen him and his mates protesting outside the gates of the Chinese embassy or some such?
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Yeah, they never point the finger in the right place. In fact, his speech today, as you know, the new father, I was completely sleep deprived. I had no idea that this was even real. I never thought Adam Bandt would lose his seat of Melbourne. I didn't believe it until I was watching the speech today, and it was classic Adam Bandt. It's like he's pointing his finger at everyone else, but there's three fingers pointing back at him. It's entirely their fault as to why they've lost this seat. But they were blaming, as Tim said, they were blaming preferential voting. They were blaming the whole system. They were blaming Dutton, One Nation. Who else did they blame? They blamed the electorate itself for its redivision. They were like, oh, those people south of the river. Like, it's literally blaming everyone else. And then they were fear-mongering. It was a classic. For a piece of the record, that Bandt speech today should go down as just it's an absolute disgrace because it's so hypocritical and it's emblematic of exactly why they lost this seat and why they're completely a sinking ship from here on out, I think.
Well, of course, you walk the streets of inner city Fitzroy day in, day out. Tell me, was the mood different? Was it palpably different there this week?
Mate, it felt free. It felt free, Chris. I was walking today. I finally could go outside, mate. I was so excited. That said, I don't think much is going to change. We've got some Labor person there that now I don't think she even bothered campaigning. I haven't even seen her. She hasn't said a thing. So I'm sure it's not actually going to be entirely that different, but it's a sigh of relief for the nation. That's the difference. But at least I can go outside and see some sun.
Sure is. We showed a podcaster, Abby Chatfield, earlier in the week, who was virtually in tears because Bandt looked like losing, and she's had another crack. Here she goes.
The greater good was to keep Dutton out. That was achieved. That was the main goal, so I'm happy with that. I know for a fact you are deeply unlikable, unintelligent, ugly, strange, isolated people who are desperate for community and validation, right?
Yeah, so they were all the people who were laughing at her distress, apparently, all the ugly, unintelligent people. She's summed us up pretty well, Tim.
Why, if she's a non-smoker, and I assume like most people under 50 that she is, why does she sound like she's on a pack of Winnie Red today? Just asking. But as we were saying before, Labor's candidate barely even ran and still won. And, for all we know, the candidate's AI might not even be real. And secondly, Bandt has been saying for years that, the climate's it's going to be a disaster, the world's going to end. Well, what ended first? The world or his political career?
Apparently the political career was in crisis. The good news for Abby Chatfield and sundry bloggers and anybody who votes Greens, the good news is the party goes on. There's just 3 lower house members who have had their careers terminated. The party goes on, and in the search for a new leader, they could turn to another great Australian in Sarah Hanson-Young. Here she is.
Have you sold out your environment credentials for a rotten, stinking extinction salmon? Extinction salmon.
The dead fish in the Senate option, Mark. That could be the new Greens leader.
I know, yeah. She's going to have to put the fish down to pick up the big red toothbrush. I don't know. She's going to have to make a choice as to which one she wants to go with. But look at the rest of the Greens. There's not many there. There's not many there that are really. They're all kind of boring. Like the only MP left, the only House of Reps person left is Elizabeth Watson-Brown, who I'd never actually really heard of. I think she's 150 years old. Very boring. Who else is there? Maureen Faruqi, you could go with her, but she's highly litigious, so I have no comment to say about her. And who else is there? Jordan Steele John? I'm already missing Adam Bandt at this point, to be honest. I want him back.
I think we'll hear a lot from Sarah Hanson-Young.
Just running through those names, though, just quickly. How many hyphens does that party have? Seriously.
They are,
is that one of the rules?
They are highly hyphenated. A highly hyphenated party. And so it gets very difficult if you're the deputy leader, because you're the hyphenated person with the hyphenated title, and so on and so forth. We'll see. Well, we look forward to their recovery, the Greens. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.